Okay. Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Plains and Banner podcast. My name is Nolan Carney, and I'm joined by
Clayton Gates.
and Kelly
and
and Kelly Moran.
We even practiced the
we
intro.
I fucked it up. I'm sorry.
practiced. No, it's my fault. We literally practiced this 10 seconds ago and still screwed it up.
I forgot.
Anyways, welcome back to the Plains and Banner podcast. Today we're going to be talking all about the Grand Prix final that took place in Nagoya, Japan. Before we dive into the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, do all of that. Um, or you could announce that you're unsubscribing, like one of our viewers commented on a 5-month-old episode the
No
other day. It was
way.
really funny. It was really funny. Um, so you could do that too. I don't care. But
We have Kelly
yes.
with us.
Yeah, we have Kelly. Welcome
Oh
back,
my
Kelly.
gosh, so glad to have you here, Kelly.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk about this event. It was crazy, and there's just so much we need to discuss.
And Kelly's like our number one favorite guest. Her and Alexa, and Maya, love them all. So
So you list all of our favorite guests. We don't pick
list all of our
favorites. We
three
list.
guests that we've had. Okay, so let's dive into like general. Okay, first off, the Yuri Orihara and Pyörinen are not going to go to the Olympics apparently because the Finnish Federation announced that they're dropping that second Olympic spot. I'm assuming it's Orihara and Pyörinen that aren't gonna go, because a Swedish outlet posted that the team Marjarov and I forgot the other partner's name will be acquiring that spot for the Olympics. So just some
Oh.
general news right off the bat for dance. So keeping you all informed on that, and then let's get into the final. Does anyone have like any overall general thoughts about the event? Maybe not like skating specific, but
I think something that I always enjoy about the Grand Prix final and specifically the juniors is that we normally get like lower quality footage on the Junior Grand Prix. It's normally some booth lighting, maybe some weird
yes.
camera angles. So it's so nice to like see them crystal clear the same way that the seniors are presented, and it's like it really elevates the moment and the skating for me, and it really got like I was super invested in like the junior men and women here.
So
And they're
good.
really good events. Yeah, like I think that's the thing. They're so consistent. They all just show up and like it's like bam, 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 clean program. And like the amount of triple axels attempted by the junior women,
6 for 6.
yeah, like
So
that was my big takeaway.
my big takeaway. Oh, sorry, Kelly, did you want to go?
Oh, I just wanted to comment on the musical choices that they
Okay.
made. The live drummers I thought
Yes,
were
that's so
really
Oh,
sick.
interesting.
yes.
And it made me wonder, as a skater, like obviously live music is always very energizing and invigorating, but I wondered how it made the skaters feel because it kind of made it feel like they were entering the Hunger Games or something with like the taiko
So
drums.
true.
It was so dramatic. It was like we were watching them like being led out to the battlefield. And then there were some errors with the LED screens at the beginning of the competition that were really funny. Some of the names and photos didn't match. And then the other thing that I noticed, uh, the music that they played for everyone in the kiss and cry, I think we're all used to at these competitions. They're usually playing like some like top 40 or something, but they had this like really dramatic
Yeah.
orchestral music
Mhm.
that made it feel almost like very surreal, like we were watching a movie scene or something. So I just thought those were really interesting choices because we've never seen that before.
They did. So the music they did do last year at Worlds, but I don't think they only did it at Worlds for the music, like that specific one that they used.
Hmm.
But I'm not gonna lie, the drums was my favorite part of the event. Like I thought it was so cool, like going out and like just seeing how some of the skaters walked out, like and like you could tell like Amber and Kaori like were game faces on for like that free skate.
Hmm.
Um,
It brought out their personalities.
yeah.
Mm.
And I feel like just the overall event value and effort that the Japanese Skating Federation put in was just like A plus, like first class. They did such a great job.
Hmm.
It didn't feel like a Japanese arena though. I don't know if you guys
No,
noticed that,
it didn't
but
have like that like
all
like
white.
all super white, everything, and like the that kind of like pale filter
Yeah.
vibe, you know what I'm saying? So, but they I mean they always go all out. I love seeing Alyssa get back there. She was like, banging on them drums. Like it was just fun. And some people were like didn't know how to react to it. Someone would come out and be like what's that? And like they would like walk away. It was just funny.
And Alyssa's I loved her little like reaction after the free skate where she was like whipping her hair like look I think it's like a TikTok
Oh,
trend or something.
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
like you go girl. Like I don't know, but um all right. And now on to some more down news. Let's talk about the dance event here.
Oh
Let's get
gosh.
into it.
Oh gosh.
Kelly, lead the way because Kelly has texted me, I think, 72 times in the past day about this dance event. And I love, listen, I've been responding to everyone because I'm all locked in. But Kelly is
Yeah.
very passionate, and I would like you to take the helm, take the charge of this one because this is like your baby right now. Like this is
Yeah.
where do you want to
So
start?
I'm wearing red today in support of Canada,
Yes.
um, for the tragedy that unfolded in the ice dance event yesterday. That, fans and skaters and Carol Lane are all incredibly outraged about. And, we saw in the beginning of the season when Fear and Gibson surpassed the Italians, people were really angry about it. But it is nothing compared to what we have witnessed unfold online with the outpouring of anger from viewers about Piper and Paul coming in fourth here. And it's interesting. So I had a conversation yesterday with Joe Johnson, um, and we were DMing a little bit because last fall or actually it was earlier this summer, I attended Joe's wedding and I met Paul Poirier there, and I kind of maybe obnoxiously a little bit drunkenly went up to him and was like, "I'm such a fan. I can't wait to see you on that Olympic podium. Like, you guys are my pick for gold." Like, I was just like really, it was a lot.
Kelly, not you jinxing them.
Well,
There's still time.
I
There's
know,
time.
but in that moment, it was funny. Paul had a very like muted reaction where he almost seemed like skeptical. And I remember I was taken aback because I was like, "What do you mean? He didn't like immediately agree and be like, hell yeah, like we're gonna do it." He was kind of like, "Oh, thanks. Like we'll see, I guess."
That's
And I was,
so interesting.
and I was like, "Whoa!" Like I'm surprised by like, but it's interesting in talking to Joe, like Piper and Paul have been through so much, like with the judging and all of these shenanigans with the scoring. And, I asked Joe because Joe Johnson is a former ice dancer for Team
Ice
USA.
dancing.
He used to skate with Karina Manta. And, as viewers, like we're all biased and we're all trying to understand what the rules are in ice dance. And I asked Joe, I was like, "Hey, like you're a former ice dancer. Like, what would your podium have been at this event?" And he had only watched Piper and Paul, so he couldn't obviously weigh in. But he said, he's like, even if I did watch, I don't understand the rules enough, like what the levels mean or why people get what they get. It's so difficult to understand that I don't even know. And the thing is, where a lot of people are quite upset that Lila and Lewis have surpassed the Canadians, one thing that Joe pointed out, he's like, I don't know the rules, but there is perhaps, maybe they are following the rules better than these other teams. Like they may very well be adhering to the rules better than the three teams behind them. And I would be none the wiser because I don't understand the rules. But yeah, an interesting thing that Joe said to me was that he thinks that ice dance doesn't benefit from being a judged sport because every skater has these strengths and weaknesses, and you really have to judge those things honestly in the PCS marks, or you should just go back to 6.0.
Yeah.
And one thing that he said is that because all these teams have such different styles and strengths, that it's almost like you're pitting a ballroom dancer against like a contemporary performer, against acro
Mm.
dance, against like a ballet dancer. Like you're pitting all these styles against each other and quantifying it out of 10. So it's just incredibly hard to judge all these different things. And with the rules changing, the goalposts are always moving. So it's a complete shit show. And what I find really sad is that former ice dancers are a little bit tuned out of following the sport now, for this reason. And we heard Piper say after the rhythm dance that she didn't plan on being involved in the sport anymore. And I think it's extremely damning that so many former ice dancers are starting to feel this way.
Mm.
It says a lot about what's happening, and it's not good.
You really just like
Yeah, and
revealed the meaning.
you
What?
literally just
You,
said, yeah.
no, you're good. You revealed the meaning. You were like, I never thought about it like that way in terms of like, yeah, there's so many different styles. Like, it's not just like ice dance is not just a day. I mean, it's just has so many different avenues and like things that make it so unique, and each couple has that as well. And it's like, you don't, that's not the same. We're not watching the same thing go back to
We're
back to
watching
back.
totally different
Yeah.
styles. Nolan and I yesterday, we were like, when you think about it, like we are also very blinded by seniority and like, just kind of
Hmm.
expecting Chalk and Bates to be above these other teams. But Piper and Paul beat Chalk and Bates at Four Continents last year, and now there's a 12-point gap between them that I don't know where that came from, but we've all just kind of accepted it because Chalk and Bates have been this top team for so long. And Nolan and I were talking yesterday and we were like, what would your podium be if seniority didn't matter? Like if we were being
Mm.
completely objective, how would you rank these teams? And I don't even know if I know how. So what
I
would your
remember
podium be?
I remember I told you what would your final be if seniority
Oh.
wasn't even a factor too, because if you go by that standard, I think a lot of some of these teams might not have even made it. Um, if we're looking at the six teams here, and I think one of the teams that I think really got the shaft here, and I know this might be crazy, it was Zingis and Kolesnik of the
Absolutely.
six,
Definitely
one of the ones that got the biggest shaft due to seniority. Uh, they got a deduction I guess we could start with them, but they got the
Okay.
mhm.
deduction in the rhythm dance for they got an S deduction, which is spacing.
Separation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
separation. Yes, sorry. And then they got a second deduction for, was it timing? They got two deductions. I know that. They got
Was it
two in
for
the
the
rhythm
no,
dance.
was it for
Oh, the
the
invalid
assisted jump?
element.
Yeah, the invalid
Yes.
element because it was the assisted jump. He helps her
Hmm.
do an axle. Is it an axle
Hmm.
or a
It's an
double axle?
axle. It's just a
Okay.
single.
So apparently you're not supposed to do a jump that's more than one rotation, and an
Hmm.
axle is 1.5. So yeah, they
Yes.
lost credit for that.
So they
And
got
they've been doing it all season, but just now it
Mine,
got.
yeah.
And two of the so when we look at the panel, two of the judges, so allegedly this is the Olympic panel from what the rumors have been. Um, two of the judges that were on this panel were at the Kinoshita Cup where Zingis and Klesnik debuted their programs. So if two of the judges didn't see it then how did the two judges, all three of them now see it now? And, like, how are they just now finding that invalid element now in this point of the year?
Is that because maybe it's not the judges, but maybe it has to do with who the
Or the
tech
control, yes,
yeah, maybe
that's
it's
what I
who the
meant. The
controller was.
controllers.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the same controllers. That's what I meant, not judges. My
Okay.
my apologies. But
Hmm.
um, and Mark Henretti was discussing during the free dance that he did believe that Zingis and Klesnik really should have been closer. I think they have
They
a very great rhythm dance that suits them very well. The free dance is very solid, I think, for them this year. Um, and I just think when you compare them to even like Chalk and Bates, obviously Chalk and Bates have like a different strength, and Fear and Gibson have a different strength. But Zingis and Klesnik, I think, kind of outclass them in the skating skills and aren't lacking that much behind on the performance. So
I
yeah.
completely agree. I thought that they should have had a much higher score for both of their programs, and it was really shocking to me how far behind all the other teams they were when their performances were incredibly strong.
They have my favorite rhythm dance, I think, of this group of six. Like that girl's poison is it fits them so well,
Mhm.
and everything is styled so like the packaging I think for them as well is like super slept on. Um, and it's crazy. And Mark also was saying in the commentary, like, this is kind of rare. Like some people are saying that they are getting that pass, the senior pass before it's like their time to rise by being at the final. And so like if they're, performing that well throughout the Grand Prix season. Like, why not support them if you're the USFS? Like, why not? They don't have, I mean, they can still be last if that's what you want, but like, it doesn't have to be, let's ding them for these random things. Let's make up some new letters to throw in to confuse everyone. Like, even though I'm sure they've existed, but we're just now finding out about it. And it's just like, it's just
And
crazy.
I've heard that they apparently there's like rumor that they are getting this shaft with the scoring because of what happened in Finland. That's a conspiracy
What
of
happened in Finland?
they were kind of the beneficiaries of Sean Restad's calls because
Uh,
he was of all the people that he was difficult on, he was pretty lenient with them and the Shibutanis then. Um, Lenient is the key word, but
But that's
hmm.
so
um,
ridiculous that
yes.
that past con like the what happens in Finland should have nothing, it should have no effect on what we're judging in front of us like today in Japan.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
because they
And that's
didn't
the
get
big
a,
thing.
yeah, it doesn't make any, it's unfair. And
Um,
there's so much wrong with the judging of ice dance. And I said to Joe, I was like, I don't know how you guys stay sane. And he was like, we don't.
I mean, it's
it's
frustrating because like these athletes are pouring like their blood, sweat,
thousands
and
of
tears.
dollars.
Yeah, and hella money, and like just as much as the singles are, if not more. I'm saying like there's so much work that goes into a partnership. There's so much work that goes into curating like an ice dance program that has a concept and a theme and is packaged well and the costuming and everything. It's just like years and years and years and years and years and years, and it's just like it's a slap in the face.
And
Yeah.
so many ice dancers go into financial debt from just trying to pay for their training and competitions. Like, and there's so few opportunities for them to earn money professionally. It's the state of the sport is not great right now.
Yeah, just ice
Not
dance
great.
in general is just it's very much got a big dark hole. Big
Mhm.
dark filter over it right now. Um okay, I mean Zingas and Kolesnik were very they skated well and they just got the shaft. I think looking at the Lithuanians, obviously I think they're just a little bit of a stiffer team, not as much flow and glide and they're not as naturally explosive I think as Zingas and
Mhm.
Kolesnik. They luckily for them they do have um that seniority boost and they're the beneficiaries of where they train with.
I am.
Yes. But I'm not saying that like they didn't deserve to be here. I think the programs they have this year are suit them very well. They elevate their style. Um,
They have my favorite rhythm dance of the season, and I love
yeah.
their free dance as well. And I kind of don't even care that both of their programs are basically like techno club programs
Yeah.
because like I don't really care about variety if you can do one thing and do it really well and
Hmm.
sell it to me, and I love that about them. So
Me as well, because I the free is so like they have this like nonchalant vibe, and they're not like overly projecting, but the music doesn't call for it, and it works. Like it's very like casual, not casual because it's club music, but it's like they're just there, and
Casual club.
mhm.
they're aura farming. They're like
Yeah.
doing the thing.
I feel like
And
they could go viral during the Olympics
I
for their
agree.
I'm Too Sexy program. Like,
mhm.
Oh
and I
yeah.
feel like that is a big reason why we've seen all these changes in the ice dance rules. They're trying to kind of make things flashier because, if you do like I don't know, one of like the waltz or like those rhythm steps, like the casual viewer is not going to really be able to tell like who's doing the pattern
The waltz
better.
the best. Yeah.
But when people are doing these kind of like flashy things going from board to board with these character steps, it creates the potential for these viral moments. And I honestly think that that is what the panel is kind of going for, or why they're changing these rules, because the sport needs more viewers. And so I actually think the Lithuanians have a really good shot of that. Um,
Who
but
else do you think will go viral? Let's do a little poll here.
Mm,
I think Madison Chalk for her fashion.
Lila and Lewis could.
Yeah, they will because of
I
the
think
Spice Girls, I
so.
think.
I think Guillaume and Laurence for the Vogue, for the
Yeah,
Yeah.
Preds. I could see that happening.
It's funny. Nolan and I were also talking about when non-skating friends like send us videos, like when
Mm,
something breaks the containment of the skating world
mm-hmm.
and makes it out into like Twitter or something, and a friend of mine will send me a video of Laurence and Guillaume, and be like, "Have you ever seen these guys?" And I'm like, "Oh, I know
Oh,
way
dude.
too much about their lives. Like, trust me." But a couple of people have sent me Laurence and Guillaume, so it's interesting to see that people are already noticing them.
Yeah. Smart and Deke, for sure.
The
They will
Yes.
Dune
go viral.
program, definitely. Oh, yeah. And okay, if we're just talking about dance right now,
I have a list pulled up. That's honestly who I think. Honestly ever if Orihara and Pirinen could have went to the Olympics, I think they would have gone viral for the end of their Moulin Rouge free
hmm
dance. That
Mm.
would have gone super It's kind of already gone viral, but
mm.
that would have been a big deal. But
If that Czech, so the Mrazeks,
Mm.
maybe if they
mhm,
hadn't, so sorry, I'm gonna go on a side quest
the
right
AI.
now. The AI music, it's one of my favorite like little facts about the season right now, which is that I guess the Mrazeks couldn't get the rights to real John Bon Jovi. So they had AI generate a song in the style of 90s John Bon Jovi. But what's so funny, so initially their program started off with the AI John Bon Jovi song, and it starts out with this lyric, "Every night we smash a Mercedes Benz."
Okay.
And then it goes into this like kind of hair rock 80s dun, 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 like it's very like silly and just like it's just a ridiculous lyric. And watching it, we're like, okay, I guess that's like what AI thinks a John Bon Jovi lyric would be. But it turns out that that lyric is actually from the New Radical song, "You Only Get What You Give." And so the AI plagiarized another song, and
Mhm.
then after they competed that, I think like the copyright censors picked up on like, oh, why is this New Radicals lyric in this music? And so they had to ask the AI to generate a new song that wasn't like, violating copyright by plagiarizing another song. So they have a new AI song now. And I think it is so ridiculous that Laurence and Guillaume couldn't use a song from 1989 because it wasn't 90s enough, but the Czech team is able to use an AI generated song from 2025. Like, that's crazy.
That is actually insane.
How does like
Um,
well obviously like AI they pull from already existing things and then
Right.
so it's like duh it's gonna be like something that it is likely copyrighted. That's so I didn't know that was happening. That's so funny.
Yeah, well,
I
it
had
just
saw
goes to
that on
show that
Twitter. I saw that on Twitter a couple weeks ago, the exact thing you're referring to.
AI
Um,
is not smart enough to not like lie and cut corners. So it didn't generate a completely original new piece of music. It literally just took lyrics from another song and slapped a new melody on it. So yeah, I just thought that was
yeah,
really funny. And
just
so I thought if they were able to keep it in with the Mercedes Benz, because that lyric is it's just so funny.
It's
give me the
iconic.
Mercedes
They could
Benz.
have maybe gone viral with the AI thing just because it is so ridiculous. But now, yeah, the new music, it just doesn't hit quite as hard.
Could you imagine Terry Gannon being like, and they're going to, or Ted Barton being like, and they're going to skate to an AI generated Mercedes Benz song? Like, oh my
Oh,
goodness.
I can hear it.
AI in the style of John Bon Jovi, because
But yeah,
He
it's
he
would
like
would
say the
probably
name wrong. He
mispronounce
would say the
it.
name wrong. How did he say Adam's name? Adam, he said like Adam, Ti,
D-Ho.
see
Diho.
how
Like,
yeah,
what?
I don't
I couldn't
It's
even
so
say it.
Ted's pronunciation.
Yeah.
It's so funny. He'll say like a Canadian French, like if it's a French or a French Canadian pronunciation, it's like perfect. But if it's an Asian name,
God help
shit's
You have
him.
getting
no
mangled.
idea.
That's and I think it's so funny listening to him and Mark commentate because they do it together all the time, but the styles are so different. And so it's like I can sometimes like hear in Mark's voice, like he's like, well, not really, or he'll kind of like subtly try to correct him a little bit, and
Oh,
it's like,
one during the dance, during the rhythm dance, we'll get back to the actual skating in a minute, guys. But Ted was saying this was after Chalk and Bates went, and
Mhm.
Ted was comparing them to the French, and he was saying like they're both just so strong and like all the different like Chock and Bates so strong with the skating skills with like comparing them to the French. And Mark was like, actually, I don't know about that.
Mm.
And he's like, I need to take. He's like, I don't exactly remember what he said, but he had to like kind of check Ted and be like, well, I think a lot of people would argue that the French have much superior skating skills.
Yeah.
He does it so tastefully, yes.
Yeah, he very diplomatically pointed out that Chalk and Bates have incredible lifts, and the French are amazing at everything else but but
Yes,
that, which is completely
it is
true.
true.
Which is true. Should we talk about the French?
Let's do, you know what we'll do? Because this is how I kind of viewed the whole
Mm,
dance event. I viewed it as three different matchups. So I say let's do the one of for Piper and Paul and Lila and Lewis because we're basically
Mm.
comparing both all these three teams or all
mhm,
five, six of these teams together. So let's start with Piper and Paul and then the Lila and Lewis because I think they went head to head. They were both separated by point zero six in the final score. Um, so let's start with Piper and Paul. For me, I think this team was definitely robbed for sure. I mean, looking at that Vincent and how they have reconstructed that free dance to reflect the current system, they did it in absolutely the best way they possibly could do it. It's a fantastic vehicle, and I feel absolutely terrible for them because if you look at what happened from last year to this year, last year they go from fighting Chalk and Bates for the world title and winning four continents. Now they're like fighting for the bronze. And I really think all of it happened when they screwed up on the lift at Skate Canada. And especially looking at like how the momentum's been building for Lila this year. Lila and Lewis have been doing every single competition, having no mistakes, no mistakes, no mistakes. And they've just kind of built up that momentum and perception. And with the mistake of Piper and Paul at Skate
mhm.
Canada, their perception took a hit. And we saw the exact same thing with the Italians with last year with the robots getting nailed this year. And I just feel bad for them because you have one mistake and you're dragged down so fast when you're not with the right coaching
Mhm.
situation in dance.
And it's so like frustrating because we were watching it in real time, like Piper's reaction in the kiss and cry. You're seeing her. I mean, they're so happy to have the flower crowns on. They're like, oh my, they feel good and confident about what they just put out on the ice, and then you just see it
Mhm.
just like totally leave their body when they see the score come in, and that they're point what, yeah, was it point oh
Zero
six?
six.
600ths of a
Yeah.
point.
Absolutely. And like the commentators, as their like scores are coming in, like they're like the GOEs are changing, but every
Mm,
second, like they're
And they
they're
said
saying
yeah.
out
they said not for
That's
loud,
the
what
better.
that was
yeah.
in my note that I wrote was that right before the scores were announced, Mark mentioned that he was watching in real time. He's like the score is constantly changing and not in Piper and Paul's favor. And he's like, I'm watching the GOEs
Mm-hmm.
be changed and they're going down and the score is going down with them. And he said this right before the score was posted. So it's like he was watching in real time. Like they got one thing and then oh, the judges are like, oh, I guess it's too high. Let's dock a little here, take a little bit there, and then oh, they're just behind by like the slightest
A little
amount.
bit.
It was so clear that it was like manipulation and seeing their reactions absolutely broke me. And Piper is sitting there with like a, kind of this fake smile on her face, but she's shaking her head.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was very unfair. And I really find it so interesting that they've just totally gone for broke in calling out the judging afterwards. Like
Mhm.
Piper and Paul have both posted things on their Instagram stories. Carol Lane has
Retweeting
been,
everything.
oh my God. Okay, Carol. I understand. Okay, first of all, Carol Lane, I understand that have a right to be upset, but Carol is retweeting some of the craziest tweets. And one of the tweets that
Yes.
she retweeted was someone telling like the British judge, like,
British judge.
I hope you get diarrhea. And I'm like, maybe
Carol.
Carol, maybe we don't need to, maybe that's not going to be the thing that helps get Piper and Paul to the Olympic bronze. But it's really interesting just watching, because skaters are usually very politically correct and they don't speak out against these things. And I feel like with Piper and Paul, they probably just feel like they have nothing to lose at this point, and they can see the massive swell of support that fans are giving them on social media, which I feel has definitely empowered them to speak out. And I think they should. I think they have a right to be upset, and we all witnessed something that felt very corrupt, and it should be called out.
Can I just say, trendsetter, Charlene Guignard, trendsetter
Hmm.
for this whole Instagram thing. So a couple things that I want to discuss. So the first thing, if I'm look and when I'm looking at this from obviously I have my opinions of what I believe should have happened. When I'm looking at from the objective point blank looking just at the scores of what happened, they didn't get it wasn't the technical controllers that were going after Piper and Paul. It was the judges because Piper and
Hmm.
Paul were second in the base value, just behind the French. Chalk and
Hmm.
Bates were third, and Lila and Lewis were fifth
Oh.
in
Yeah,
the base
because Piper
volume.
and Paul have incredibly difficult elements in their program. At the end, they change directions from the curve lift and the rotational lift. Like one goes clockwise, one goes counterclockwise. What they're
Hmm.
doing is objectively, technically more difficult.
And the problem is that they weren't getting the GOE. And if you look at the judges, let me tell you what the judges, which countries these judges are. Ready?
Mm.
So Canada, they're a swing judge. They could
Mhm.
be IM, they could also not be IM. Swing. Japan, IM. Great Britain, Lithuania, USA, Hungary. I don't think they have a Hungarian team. China, they have a Chinese team. France, they have two French teams. Kazakhstan, they don't have a Kazakhstan team. But you look at that, there's one, two, three, four, five, six of the nine judges are definitely pro IM, with one swing being Canada. Um, I mean, that's tough to overcome when you're looking at that and you're looking at how they're getting Jewish. They're getting some of these elements, they're ranging from +2 to +5, with the majority of the look, Japan, Great Britain, Lithuania, maxing it like a +3. The USA giving them a lot of +2s on these elements where they're giving Lila and Lewis +4s, +5s on some of these elements. That's where they're getting beat is
Mhm.
the judging, is the panel, is what the
Mm.
judges are giving them in the GOE, not necessarily the technical controller. That's what I'm just my biggest takeaway when I saw that, was just that's where they lost a bunch of the points. Um, yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
think is it because like is the argument that if I'm judging a GOE of a dance element
Hmm.
and Piper and Paul, while they have this one fluid, cohesive piece of music and concept of a program, it's it's it builds and there's something that's very captivating about it, but it's not like boom in your face like the
Lila and Lewis.
yes. Like it doesn't give like they're not giving you the like in your face performance
It's less
and
flashy.
right.
Yeah.
So is
It's a
that the
different
justification?
style. No, I don't think that I mean, I could be from some judges. I have to say, one thing that I really think kind of hurts them as their with their lasting impression, they do the combo lift at the end, where they do the rotational lift into the stationary lift. And the second part of the lift does look really, I know it's like intentional, but it's very slow towards the end. And I feel like you shouldn't be ending with something that looks slow that could be perceived as labored.
Hmm.
And that just kind of leaves a bad impression for me, like when you have Lila and Lewis, they're ending like with the bagpipe section of the music where they're doing the choreo step and they're like getting in the judges' faces, like rah rah, everywhere. Like they're leaving with like a huge and lasting impression moment where Piper and Paul definitely kind of fades away slowly. Like the music, they do that beautiful lift at the end and it fades away. It's a different style, but I feel like sometimes when you're looking at the Olympics, like look at what Sarah Hughes did. She ended big. Tara
Yeah.
Lipinski ended big. Like some Moulin Rouge ended big. Like
Mm.
I'm not saying that it's their material that's holding them back, but um, just the overall lasting impression, I think sometimes hurts them just a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a real shame because you saying that just now really reminded me of what Joe was saying about how it's almost crazy to even try to compare these. When I
Yeah,
when I watch Piper and Paul, they have so much, like, yes, their program is not as in your face and flashy. It's very lyrical and it's subtle, and they're doing these very complex things that might not, have that same like in your face effect as Lila and Lewis. But it's funny because, watching Piper and Paul, it's like watching like a pas de deux. It's like watching a ballet. And then Lila and Lewis, it's like watching a Zumba class. It's
they're
That's a
completely
really
different
good,
takes.
and
comparison.
so that's why it's so crazy that they're so different and they're judged in the same system when the
Hmm.
styles are just
What was cracking me up also was Mark was going on and on and on about Lila's fingers. He was like, "Oh, and look how she's stylizing her hands so perfect. Like the middle finger touching the thumb." And I'm like, "And oh, she's doing it here again, and she's doing it here again." And I'm like, "It's a gimmick. Like you're describing
Was
to me
this in the
a
free
gimmick."
dance?
Yeah, in the free dance.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? He's British too, or he's
This is
Scottish, one of the
true. This
two.
is
well,
true.
This
But
is like very close to him, I'm sure. Like he's
okay.
probably pointing out something that's like technically correct for the form of dance that they're doing or something like that. But I understand.
Hmm.
Um, God, such a small margin for um Lila and Lewis. It just so small. And this is a huge shift, I feel like. And I have to say, when they're in Japan, every time Lila and Lewis are in Japan, they pull off some sort of upset. They beat the
Mm.
mhm.
Italians twice in Japan. Um, they do have, I will say, when you look at it, they do have an attack and a drive, and they do maximize the hell out of everything that they do. I'm not saying that I don't think they should have been third, in my personal opinion, but I'm saying I understand where some people put them that way. I understand how some of these judges do think that because obviously the panel is going to have mixed opinion or the judges are going to have mixed opinions. Um,
Mhm.
and definitely with the momentum that they've cultivated this season, I understand why they were given the pass to get the bronze.
Mm.
I understand how it's kind of built up. And I think it's just kind of unfortunate that what you said earlier, Kelly, is like when we were talking about Finland for Zingis and Kolesnik, like why are we taking in consideration of what happened earlier in the year and applying it
Mm.
to now? And that's just like an unfortunate thing that I think really exists in all the different disciplines of skating is that
But it also
reputation
feels
bias.
it also feels very selective because let me ask you, do you think
Yes.
that Laurence and Guillaume are going to be penalized for Laurence falling at this event?
No.
There you
I don't
go.
think so at all. No.
Like they do it for certain teams, but they completely look the other way for other teams. It's a hot mess. I wanted to bring up something that Nolan and I were discussing before we started recording, which is
Oh,
that if you look
yes.
at the world standings, so Fear and Gibson are number one in the world right
Oh
now.
yeah.
Do you want me to give you
You,
the rundown?
hmm
All right, ready?
I
This,
have it right here.
yeah.
The
So this is the top four. This will be the
mhm,
final group as of
mhm,
this moment for the Olympics. Ready?
mhm,
For the rhythm dance. Starting first will be Loboreva and Brissot. Then it'll be Guignard and Fabry, Chock and Bates, and Lila and Lewis will go last
mhm.
in the rhythm dance
So Lila and
Wow.
Lewis are first in the world right now,
in
and
world ranking.
Piper and Paul are number five. So what I think Piper and Paul should do, because they are less than 100 points away from being ranked number four. Actually, they're
Mm.
less than 30 points
Yeah,
away.
so close.
Lapareva and Broussard are only,
382.
yeah, less than 30 points ahead of them in the world standings. If Piper and Paul want to be in the last group of the rhythm dance at the Olympics, they need to do a competition to get those spots. And so, what I am proposing they do, and I'm going to DM this to some people and hope it gets to them, but
We have some friends.
I think that Piper and Paul should skip Canadian nationals. We know you're going to win. There's no point. Like, just rest. Instead of Canadian nationals, go to four continents,
and
Win,
get the gold.
win, get the
Oh,
gold, and get those points. That will help your momentum, and then you will be in the last group at the Olympics.
And
that's
Logarithm Briseau
genius.
will not be on
Yeah.
the podium, I believe, this year
Yeah.
for Europeans.
Yes, and because there is so much outrage right now from fans, I feel like they actually could have a chance at four continents of maybe getting better scores. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I just think that they should do it in order to get in the last group because if they're not, it's going to hurt them even more. Because as of right now,
Hmm.
Lila and Lewis are going to be skating last. So it's just another opportunity for them to be surpassed.
Lyle and Lewis will be skating last because Chalk and Bates will not be going to four continents, and Lyle and Lewis will go to Europeans. So
Wow.
if you think
Mm-hmm.
about that,
Actually,
and the Italians could jump Chalk and Bates potentially.
Actually, you know what, Nolan? Now that we're talking about this, the French could even Lopreva and Brissot, if they do really well at Europeans, they could also widen that gap.
I don't think they will, but also if you look at it, if Gilles and Poirier don't go, and no, never mind. I was gonna say
Well,
Reed and Amber Levicius could really make a push up too.
they could drop after
Mm.
Europeans. It's possible that they could drop even more in the world standings. So I think that they need to do four continents.
They have to. They
Hmm.
need to. They could drop because Reed and Amber Levicius will go to
Hmm.
four continents, so they could jump over. They will jump over Piper and Paul because they'll be high enough to get enough points to jump them.
Wait, Allison Reed is going to
Or sorry,
Lithuania?
Europeans,
I was like,
Europeans.
wait.
Sorry, that's what I meant. But this is definitely something that I think they really need to do if they want it. If they want, you need every single advantage, especially when you're not with IM. You need every single possible advantage that you could get
Hmm.
being in the
Hmm.
final group. And especially, I think some things that I think Piper and Paul could really work on. I know a lot of people aren't fans of the I'm too sexy part of the rhythm dance. I don't think that Paul really leans into it as much as he could. And then the mesh on the top of Piper's dress,
Hmm.
I think that's something in the rhythm dance. I think that's something that they really should rework because it does not match her skin tone in any manner. Um, yeah, and I think just there's a lot of small fixes they really need to work on over the next month and a half before wherever the next competition is, because that's
Hmm.
going to get them those small details. And you know that Lila and Lewis are going to take this win and they are going to work insanely hard.
Hmm.
And they'll have Europeans, which was one of the other things that Kelly and I discussed, is that for these North American teams, they don't have, then a lot of them don't go to four continents the Olympic year. So
Hmm.
they don't have the final like push. This was their final event internationally before the Olympics, where all the Europeans will go and do Europeans and they'll get pretty big scores because that's normally how it goes in Olympic year, and they'll have a lot more momentum build up for them.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Piper and Paul need to do everything they can.
Mhm.
You know, tweeting at the judges will only do so much.
Yeah.
Also,
Diarrhea for the British judge only gonna stop him for a day, maybe.
yeah,
Pepto-Bismol.
exactly. Can also, by the way, can I just read this tweet to you guys?
Please.
Yes.
It's the at is no name face 10, retweeted by Carol Lane. Wishing Nicholas Russell from Great Britain a happy diarrhea on his way back from wherever he crawled to judge ice dance. And may this time help him unlearn judging bias slash anti-bias and pay attention to what actually happens on the ice. At this point, this person's judging should be investigated. So we don't know if that's going
Go
to help Piper and Paul. um,
Yeah, they might need those
go to
points then.
Caroline's Twitter and you will see, I think, more than 25, 30 tweets
mhm.
of like
Whoa.
retweeting of like what people were tweeting about it. She liked one of mine.
It's been a
Oh,
really
yay.
it's been a very eventful week for skaters crashing out on Twitter. Shout out to Andrew Torgashev. We won't go there
Oh,
today.
yeah.
But
Another day.
it has been very interesting seeing everyone just be so public about their frustrations in the sport right now. It's very entertaining for us as fans.
Do you know what's crazy? We're like almost an hour in and we have not talked about Shotgun Bates or Poirier
And thanks
Focus.
for coming to listen to our dance recap of the Grand Prix final. We'll see y'all next time.
Okay, let's talk about the two teams that honestly, I'm shocked that Chalk and Bates pulled this off.
I am
Obviously,
too.
I mean, obviously they had the fall in the free dance, the French, which I will say, I know that they fell on a non-element. It definitely impacted their score for sure at the final choreo lift. And then I want to call out some specific judges because when you have a fall, you are not allowed to go above 8-7 for the PCS. So I would like to call out
Sorry, Nolan, can you
some
say that one
specific
more
judges.
time?
Ready? I'm going to call out, yes, sorry, can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
You just froze for a second. Oh no, I think he did it again.
Mm.
Sorry, my bad. I'm here.
Yes,
Am I here? Yes. Oh
I'm
no, it
hearing you
doesn't mean my
now.
connection's stable. Am I bad? I can switch to my laptop.
Well, you're good now, I think.
Hmm. So you were saying that their
Okay. Am I
PCS should
good?
be capped at, is it 875?
Yes.
And some judges
875 when
gave
you have a
them,
fall. So, Judge 1 from Canada gave them a 9.5 in presentation. Judge 2 from Japan gave them a 9. Great Britain gave them a 9.5. China gave them a 9, and France gave them a 9
Huh.
for performance.
there should be something in the computer that simply doesn't let you input that
Prevents
number.
Yeah.
you.
Like once
Mhm.
once you input a fall, it should
Mm.
just set the number at, what the cap is.
Also, why is Canada helping them out?
I
Like
don't
that's where
get
I'm like,
that. I don't get
that's
that.
why I think it's more of an I am Canada judge is um like a
The
neutral
traitor.
one. Because
Mm.
why are they giving them a 9.5 for
High
performance?
treason, high treason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I have to say, overall, I mean, like Maddie, I think the Matadora free dance is coming along much better.
I
She's
agree.
such a performer, and I really love the array of emotions that she has throughout the free dance. I'm still not 100% on it, but I think for them, like this was a huge win for them to be able to beat the French, and I honestly just can't believe they pulled it off. I'm not gonna lie.
I was shocked. I was so shocked. I mean, and it is, I think I agree that it is coming together a little bit better and they're selling the theme a little bit more and there's more I think there's more confidence in it as well. I think earlier season they you can kind of tell that like they were working out some bugs. Um I think especially Evan because I think Evan because you just want to watch Madison Chalk all day long. But then you look at
Yeah.
Evan,
Hmm.
Evan is like I mean, he does his job. He's the stem, she's the flower. But you sometimes you could kind of see like earlier in the season he was just like, I'm not sure about this, but now it definitely looks more confident.
I love
Um,
watching Madison in the slow-mo. Her
Oh
face
my
is
gosh.
just absolute
Stunning.
perfection. She is such a fantastic performer. And I know that we can sometimes rag on them for not being as fast or having as deep edges, but they are technically very, very solid. And they're amazing performers. And the overall impressions of their programs are so solid. Like their packaging and like there never seems to be anything like off or not working about what they're doing. Everything feels like very, very well thought out, and tailored to them, to maximize their strengths. And so I just really think they should be given credit for that. I mean, maybe they shouldn't be 12
Yeah.
points ahead of Piper and Paul, but they are very strong. And I think, when Nolan and I were when we were saying like, yeah, like they have this position because they're a senior team and they have the seniority over everybody else. Like, would we actually be placing them this high if it weren't for that seniority? And,
I don't think
it's,
so.
yeah. I think
I think the
Vadim
French
and
would have probably won if we were being realistic, even with the fall.
yeah, I
Um,
agree.
I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts about the dance event? I feel like we've,
That darn dress of Laurence's. I thought at first I thought it was a toe peg
yeah.
slip, but yeah, her dress caught and it didn't look like her dress was that long, but I guess it is.
And when your blade hits like anything that's not
Mm.
ice, you like it's like an instant, like almost face plant for the most part.
Mm.
Um,
It could have been a lot worse than it was, for
yeah.
sure.
Well, did you see the dress was like bleeding out in the
Yeah, oh
kiss and cry?
yeah, yeah, her
Yeah, her
knee.
knee.
I was like, girl, that's
Ugh.
unfortunate. I hope you can get that cleaned
Honestly, I feel like Guillaume just has a curse
for
that,
falling.
yeah, and he's like, there's like an ancient witch who's put a curse on him that like
And
curses
ward
like
Did someone
the
hire an
dresses of
Etsy
his
witch?
partners.
the
Yeah,
wardrobe, yeah.
someone paid an Etsy witch to curse him, probably.
People paid for one for Wakaba, but why can't we pay for one for the detriment? Why didn't
Maybe we
someone
need to we need to maybe pay an
get
Etsy
a better
witch for
one?
Piper and Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who hired the one for Guillaume? Because they've fallen twice this year, and there are three events that they've been to. So
yeah. I can't wait for Europeans.
I
Oh,
That's
it's
gonna
gonna be
know,
be,
so fascinating.
and we get
especially
Chris
with the
back.
Italians.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
I missed him so much this
Chris
week.
Howarth, my love. Oh,
You
can't I miss
know,
him?
I'm getting an Etsy witch for Belinda Noonan. If I don't hear her on my TV for the Olympics, I don't
Yes.
want
We'll
it.
have
I
her. We'll
just
have
don't. I,
her.
I hope
Can we get
so.
Chris and Belinda together?
Oh,
That's what my dream. I love Mark Henready. Love him. I love him when he's by himself.
I think
But
Mark and Belinda could be fun.
See,
yes.
I love Mark for the dance because he's so good. What I loved about his commentating for the dance is that he will tell us like when an element is starting. Like he was doing it a lot for the rhythm dance, and I appreciated it because I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at most of the time. And he would be saying like, "Oh, like now this is the chorus up, now this is this." And I'm like, "Thank you. We all need this information and none of us know it."
Yeah. Um, and I just love Chris for the vibes. Chris will be like, "Ugh, I okay, if Chris was here, could you imagine
Oh
Chris
my
commentating that dance
gosh.
event? I
Oh
don't
my
know.
gosh, no.
I don't know. Okay, let's talk about
Mm-hmm.
the men. This was a pretty, actually, this is a very straightforward event. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be quite honest, minus Ilia Malinin in the short program, which Clayton, I was thinking about this today.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when you were like, what does he need to do to not win? I was like, did you hex
Yes.
him in the short?
I
Like, what
I
Etsy witch did you
I
hire?
don't know. I have a good one. I'll give her your my number or give
Um,
you her number. Yeah, that's how it goes. But so there's this world record. So there's this new world
just
record,
just casual 238 free skate,
142 in the
six,
technical, six in the
six.
technical. Wow. I
Crazy.
mean, it and not only that, it is like everything was delivered to perfection. Like there I
Highest quality.
did not need to go back and look at the replays on those jumps. He learned his lesson from the Q hoodie, never again. And
Oh
it
God.
just it was a I mean it was just speechless. I had people who don't watch skating sending me the TikTok of him doing the full free. It's spectacular. It's never before seen, never before done. Like there's not really much many more accolades we can give him at this point other than the quad god. Is Nolan frozen
Yeah,
again?
I don't have like much to say. It's just like
Oh,
so, oh no.
oh
Can you hear
no.
me? I can.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry guys. It's raining in Florida. Shocker. So when it rains, the Wi-Fi is not as great, and my bedroom is not a great area for Wi-Fi. So we're back, and we're back to talk about Ilia Malinin, and Kelly has something she wants to share. So she's
Yes.
gonna Zoom share today.
So, okay. So I took this screenshot after Ilya's short. He has a new short program costume. And I just want to make a plea to please change this costume because I think that it makes Ilya look like a satyr, which is a half goat, half man creature in Greek
Oh,
It
mythology.
I
does.
see it
It
now.
was all I could see while he was competing is I was like, it looks like he has animal like horse or horse legs or something because of the brown legs and the brown skates. And I just think the top is too bulky, but I just could not get that image out of my mind. So that was like my biggest thought about Ilya this weekend, aside from, how crazy it was that he did like seven quads in a free skate. I love the new free skate costume, but please, I think we should burn this half goat, half man costume that we have here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this one
thank
is,
you.
yeah, that's a skip for me as well. I don't love
Mhm.
it.
List it. List it.
List it.
Yeah.
But I will say
Um,
what's growing on me about that short program is the music change leading into the combo, the quad lutz toe combo in the second half. Before the rap starts, I love that. Just like it's kind of loud and screechy, but for some reason it does work for me.
do you know what I think it is? I think the short program kind of has like a Dune vibe to it. And I think that's
Hmm
why we really enjoy it. I don't know. I think just overall, he just is so unbeatable. And then you look at someone like Yuma and Shun this week here, and I think obviously Yuma had the fantastic short program where he just kind of nailed it out of the park. But then again, once again in the free skate, he just kind of continues to like have a little bit of a mental lapse on something, and then it kind of continues to build up and up and up and up. And I'm not surprised when we see, like Yuma have a couple mistakes in the free skate. Um, it's unfortunate, but it's not surprising to me at this point.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine like where he was fourth here in the free skate behind Daniel Grassel and Shun Sato.
Soon,
Um, and can you
the Pope is back, baby.
the Pope is alive and well. But can you imagine just
Um,
like no, he was it's the margin is like about a point, and can you just imagine like where he has scored be? I'm probably not a world record score, but still like he would just be so much more comfortably in second, where we can just kind of like, okay, let's breathe.
Guys, I
and he has,
realized, sorry,
yeah.
I
No, you're good.
realized that Yuma might walk away from this with, he might have a total of 4 silver medals from the Olympics
Oh, wow.
because we had 2 from
Oh, poor Yuma.
2022 and he might get
Oh.
2 more at this one. So Silver Shoma, make some space on your bench for poor Yuma. And
Yeah.
this is just like how it is. Timing is everything in skating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if the Olympics were last year, Ilia still would have won. But anyway, my point still
Yeah.
stands.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
And Yuma
watching,
had Nathan too. It was just
Yeah.
yeah, like Yuma's had to go up against Yuzuru Hanyu, Nathan, and now the Quad
Shoma.
God. Yeah,
Yeah. Poor Yuma, man. He's just always up against someone. Um,
yeah.
looking at the two other men here, Shun and Daniel Grassel, I have to say Shun Sato is like my dark horse for an Olympic. Not even a dark horse at this point.
No,
He
he's
is
my
like
pick for bronze.
I think he could get the bronze. I think Peter Gumenik also could
Mm.
snatch a medal at this Olympics, but Shun Sato, and he's growing into the Firebird this year. I really kind of see him expressing himself a lot more and making an effort to be much more connected to the music and the program overall. Um, I think just a great showing for him here. And I have to say, you guys are going to think I'm crazy. I found myself really into the Pope free skate. And
Oh.
I think somehow, some way, Italy is going to make him a dark horse medal contender for the Olympics. And if you look at the overall big picture from this week for Daniel, this was a huge week for Team Italy for the team event because they beat the Georgians in the pairs.
Hmm.
And the um, Daniel was so good in the men.
Mm-hmm.
Laura Naki's been amazing. The Italians should beat the Georgians in the dance event. Overall, I think Team Italy is like back into the picture.
It's looking really good.
And thank God for that.
Yeah. The Pope
Um,
lit the white smoke for Team Italy.
Yes. Absolutely. And then like so he's 6 points off of 100 in the shorts, about 6 points off of 200 in the free. Like I'm sure the judges can scrap together some 12 extra points at the Olympics, and we have like, that's him on the podium. You know what I'm saying? Like if, Yuma or Shun or Peter like make one mistake and Daniel reproduces this, like that's the door open.
can you guys
That
Hmm.
stop speaking this into
like I'm just
existence?
it's
I
like
hate, no,
it's
I can't
possible
accept this.
though. I don't
It
want to
is.
accept it.
I think that he might win Europeans. I feel like honestly, This I feel like was kind of a rare competition for Daniel Grossel because he usually is a lot
Flops.
sloppier and he like
Yeah.
locked in today. He has not been this consistent like kind of ever.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So I feel like it's still a huge, there is a chance, but
That's why I said dark horse.
okay,
Did
okay.
not say did not say
Not normal
favorite.
horse.
It's
Dark
funny.
horse.
I feel like him and Adam are both like equally kind of have a shot to get on there if they can kind of get it
50-50.
together.
Mm-hmm.
Europeans is going to be really fun to watch for men.
And I have to say, I think Daniel's making a really strong case that like he kind of needs to do both segments for Team Italy. I
Hmm.
don't know. I mean, maybe you look at what the scoring is after the short, but because Mika Gotze's had a great year too, so you don't want you put in maybe like a Matteo Rizzo or Grasso or Memela.
Yeah.
They both had some shaky programs this year. And Daniel's been pretty consistently solid for both.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know what
Yeah,
they're gonna do, but
especially if the judges keep ignoring his under rotations and marking all of his jumps clean, then yeah, he definitely has a great chance. And I just want to acknowledge that that also happened, is that there were
Hmm.
not a lot of calls in the men event, but
for the women,
yeah, and what I thought was funny was after his short program, Ted very very tastefully said that was for him brilliant. And Ted, I caught your
For
shade,
him.
and I just wanted to say,
He's a shady lady. He can be a shady lady
yeah,
when he
but
wants to
it's
be.
true. It was brilliant for him. Um,
that's the word. That is the biggest.
Such a Canadian compliment.
Yeah,
Hmm.
such a backhanded
Canadian.
compliment. His quad loop was really nice, I have to say.
It does
I
look
really liked
good.
his quad loop. I was like, that was a really nice jump for him.
Well, because the loop is kind of the backbone of all of his toe jumps anyways. So it's
Yeah,
like you kind of like have to
especially his Lutz. So,
uh-huh.
Mhm.
um, the other two boys here, Mikhail Shidorov and Adam Xiao Himfa.
Uh,
Ted, take notes.
I feel
Uh,
so bad for Shidorov.
Me
I have a
too.
lot to say about him.
Should
Let's
we
hear it.
let's start with him.
So, obviously, he's in like a major funk, and
Hmm.
it's just been consistent drop in his overall output all season. And looking at what he's done this year, he's had so many changes in the past recent couple of months. Honestly, the past month, he changed outs to the layout. He changed his program. He has a new costume. He looks like he's added too much choreography or some added more choreography to the free skate. It honestly looks like it's just too much inconsistency right now in the training for him that's kind of causing him to have a little bit of a lack of routine and thus allowing these inconsistencies in the jumps to kind of build up. And with that, you can tell that it's really taken a hit on his confidence. He looks like he's lacking that same aura and same confidence that he had last year, where he knew he was just going to sell the hell out of that piano concerto or well, Moonlight's not a take on me free skate. Like he was
Hmm.
going to sell whatever that was. And this year, it just looks like he just doesn't believe in what he has and is just kind of second guessing almost every single decision that he's made. He just looks a little like lost and scared at this point.
Yeah, he looks really nervous every time he takes the ice. And I can imagine, like, he was so good last year, and that was when none of us had any expectation for him to do well. And, like, no
Hmm.
one really thought that he would be such a threat at Worlds. And so it's like coming into the Olympic season as a world silver medalist, and you know that there is a chance that you could be on the podium at all these events. But he doesn't really have that experience and that, like, mental fortitude, I think, developed to really like withstand all of this pressure right now. And then on top of that, he's from a small Fed where the judges are like very willing to drop you when you start looking like you're not so solid anymore.
He doesn't have a big Fed backing him at all. So that's
Hmm.
Hmm.
definitely something that's unfortunate. And then when you look at Adam, I wrote hot French mess, LOL.
I really thought for a moment that we were gonna have like another Worlds moment
Free
where,
skate.
yeah, because he started. I've never seen him do a
It
quad
was
lutz
really good.
that good. And the first couple passes were excellent, and then it
The
just
first four passes were amazing.
Hmm.
And then he did the French axle, which
Oh,
the axis on
yes.
that axle was insane. Don't know how he landed it.
It scares
Then
me
he
every
did a
time.
triple axle waltz jump, iconic, great combo. And then a mistake on the triplets. I think just honestly, can I say it looks like sometimes he's trying technical stuff that's just too difficult for him. If you look at the last
Hmm.
2 years, when was the last time we've seen him put two clean back-to-back performances together? It feels
Never.
like it's been so rare.
Mm,
And the quad lutz is so 50-50 almost every single percent of the time of the programs. Um,
yeah. I mean, when it's on, but like, when is it on?
in the free skate in Japan,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah.
Hmm.
I think
Any other
he,
thoughts? Oh yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
He had new costumes.
Yeah, thank God he fixed the
Hmm.
costumes. So much better. So much better.
I really like them. I
Hmm.
really, really like
They're
them.
nice. He had a
Yeah.
costume change in the free
Wait,
skate too.
yes. Well, Shadowrun also got new costumes.
And a
Well, he
haircut.
and a haircut. He saw my comment. He saw my comment about because someone in the comments of the last video was like, what should he do? Should he repackage?" I was like, "Yes, he needs a low taper fade, and he needs two new
He still needs a little more
the
on the
top is
top.
a yeah.
It's still
Hmm.
too a little too poofy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
These men,
Thank you.
they
You're
all
doing
need a
God's
nice
work.
haircut. They all need a haircut before the Olympics. That is one thing that we desperately need in the men's event is a
Mhm.
barber, a hairstylist. Like, let's get some highlights. Let's get a haircut. Like, come on, let's get it
Mm-hmm.
done. Um, anything else about the men?
No.
Okay.
The men were men.
The
Also, I
one
just want to
event,
say, wait,
yeah,
I want to say one thing. Uh, I want to say that I'm sorry if anyone took offense. I didn't mean to body shame Ilya before by criticizing his costume. I think Ilya has really beautiful lines, and I just feel like this costume
yes,
doesn't accentuate those
Mm.
lines. I feel like it cuts them off. So I just wanted to put that out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yes, all love. It's
obviously we know that, yeah.
mhm.
Mhm.
Um,
Should we do
one of the
pairs?
biggest events, yeah,
Mhm.
it was definitely the biggest event that was super open. And we had a little bit of another controversy in the pairs event here too, where you had
Mm.
the Japanese over Kanti and Machi, and then you had some people coming back to life as Clayton wanted to put them in retirement last week. So
Oh, I don't know if I said that, but
I
they
think,
did make me eat my words, and we're talking about the Germans.
yes, my girl Minerva came to play. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with her.
Mhm.
All right, Minerva. Okay.
Yeah, she lit that fire, girl. It was so like the free, like I was like, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. Like I get it now. Like the commercial that Benoit put together for this program is all making sense to me. I'm seeing the vision. Like it is so good. So, so good. And like if they put that together with a clean short, like I've turned a new leaf. I'm like, this is it. This is it.
I agree. I haven't really paid too much attention to this team, but now I understand why so many people on Twitter are obsessed with them. Their elements are perfectly timed to the music, and it is so satisfying. They have like their throw right on the climax after it builds. Like it gave me chills. Like watching them, I had full body chills. And they may not be like the flashiest team, but they have this calmness and like this refinement to their movements, and they're so elegant. So it's just so enjoyable to watch.
They look
They
sleek.
have,
That's the word that comes
yeah,
to mind.
Hmm.
everything is like, it's like a crisp $1 bill when you look. It's just so beautiful. So like, I don't know, it's just so nice. And I think even with the mistake that they had on their short program, I think you could tell, even though she singled the triple sow in the short, you could tell that they were finding that confidence again. And I think they were gaining momentum with it. That
Hmm.
free skate that they put out was the highest free skate that any pair team has scored throughout this entire quad.
Whoa.
Um,
Wait,
so
It's
no one's
yes,
hit 150 yet?
no,
Wow.
mm-mm.
They deserve it. I mean,
They deserve more than
they're
what they
they're
got too.
both they're matched so well. I really want to give a shout out to Volodin because he had like she has beautiful lines, but he also has beautiful lines too, and we know that is not very rare for male pair skaters. You're usually
Pair
maybe
skating.
yeah, pair
Yes.
skating in general, but they have the most stunning lines together,
Mm.
and yeah, it really just elevates what they're doing so much.
I kind of want them to win the Olympics.
Oh, just kinda.
Kinda. Just kinda.
Not the
Kinda, sorta.
Italians.
Now let's talk about
No.
y'all. Okay, I mean, I would have had them winning. I would have had them
If
I
this
winning.
think I
event
can see the
if this
argument.
event was in
Yes.
Italy, they would have won.
They would have
Hmm.
won.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Um, so when I look at the whole, okay, when I look at this decision of like why they were second versus why the Japanese were first, I think it's tough for a lot of pans to swallow because if you look at the comparison, I think one, you'll see that the Italians had two clean skates and the other, the Japanese had two flawed performances. When I look at the quality of the two, it's definitely unmatched on the Japanese side. I think they just for sure are just the better team in terms of like the positions, the execution, the lifts, just the overall presentation. It's just
They're racking up the GOEs. Well, they're making up for all those
yes.
mistakes all those mistakes, like the two errors that they made, like because they're getting a point more in GOE than the Italians are.
And if you look at what the scoring was for this event, the senior pairs in the short program, the Italians had a mistake on their group five lift where they pretty much got like +1 on it from majority of the judges.
Hmm.
That's where they lose a lot of points. They just don't have that solid lift positions that a lot of these other teams do. And they're losing GUE on that. And when I was thinking about them overall, I kind of feel like they have a lot of dirty spots throughout their skating that just affects like the overall line and
Hmm.
image. And they lack that final refinement. Like if John Nix was like watching this pair team, like John Nix was very focused on like leaving beautiful images throughout your program, like never
Mm.
hitting a bad position. I feel like John Nix would be like, well, I don't really know if they're going to leave like a lot of beautiful images like on the ice. Just they just have that a lot of just lack of extension, lack of finish that just
Hmm.
doesn't exist. Now for me personally, should they have won? I think the Japanese did probably enough to win, but um, I think for Conti and Machi, they definitely brought themselves back in the conversation for an individual medal because I
Hmm.
think they were kind of straying towards like that pewter position at this point. And they completely changed the perception for sure.
Well, on the flip side, for me, on like I know that they're not the most refined, but when you watch in the slow-mo and you can see it like a little less in real time, but in the slow-mo and they're finally finishing all the elements. I think it was in the short and Machi is like hyping the crowd up and then like Sarah is like laughing with him. Like, they're kind of like cutting up and having like a little like moment like a silly moment on the ice while they're still performing. And like that was just like it brought a smile to my face and like you could see that the joy and the passion of what they're bringing. And like I that is just like that intangible thing that is gonna make me go like, higher in the components. Maybe if they're not the most
Yeah,
refined.
Yeah, I agree with
they
that.
definitely have a soul.
They've also, I feel like they have a little more connection to their music than the Japanese team does.
Mhm.
When I was watching the Japanese team, first of all, the short program music, it kind of reminds me of like, did you guys see the movie Tar? Like Lydia
No.
Tar. Well,
Mm-mm.
No.
at the end of she basically like gets canceled and then she's resigned to conducting orchestras that play video game music, which is considered to be like a huge downgrade in like the conducting world. But when I listen to the Japanese, it sounds like they're skating to kind of like corny video game music. Like it has that feeling for me. And the free skate music is slightly better, but I don't see them connecting to it. And I almost feel like when I'm watching them, they could literally be skating to anything. Like anything could be playing because there's very little expression, even though their skating is such a high quality. And so that's why I really connected with the Italians more. They seem so much more connected to each other and in their programs and just expressing so much. And yeah, I feel like if this event was in Italy, they would have won. So
They would have won.
yeah.
Yeah. They have much more soul, I think.
Hmm.
And I don't, and once the Japanese like make a mistake, like they obviously kind of deject themselves a little bit from the
Yeah.
performance.
Hmm.
Mm.
Of the other teams that were here, Pavlova and Sviatchenko, I think of the other three that were remaining, I kind of enjoyed them the most, comparing like the Georgians, the Diana Max and the Hungarians.
Hmm.
They're not like the most overall artistic skaters and pair team, but they've made such improvements this year, and I feel like they've been super solid on the technical elements. They were really just an enjoyable watch.
I agree. I really like, wasn't scared watching them at all. Like, it felt very like, what a just lovely performance. And, they obviously have, you know, more time to work on the intricacies and the partnership and making it, you know, more intricate, better skating skills, the whole
Yeah.
9 yards. But the pair elements are there. They're solid.
Mhm. Okay. Let's talk about our girl,
Oh.
Miss Diana Stellato and Mr. Maxime Deschamps. Who wants to take the lead
Well,
on this one?
I'll say that Deanna's my queen, and both of
Mhm.
them, both Deanna and Max, have been sick recently.
Yes.
They've also been training a lot. So some of the conversations I've been seeing online is that they might be overtraining and burning themselves out a little
Mm.
bit, and they've both been sick. Um, as well for them, I also think that they should skip Canadian nationals this year
No four continents.
and do
No
four
four
cont.
continents? Okay.
What?
I was gonna say skip and go to four continents or no four continents.
Yeah, go to four continents. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they need to build up a little bit more momentum for themselves right now. Um,
And Canadians isn't gonna do it,
no.
you know?
Yeah, they don't need
Um,
it.
I will say, like you said, Deanna and Max both said in the interview that they've been sick. I remember in the interview, they were at Warsaw, like I think like a week and a half ago, and Deanna was like, "Well, I was sick of Warsaw. He was sick in France or something. They both were sick in Canada." It just looks like they're struggling to be healthy, and
Hmm.
when you're struggling to be healthy throughout the fall, I don't understand why they're competing in so many of these events. Like obviously the Grand Prix you have to do, but why are you going to do the Warsaw Cup? Which I think wasn't really a good. It wasn't a good showing for them there. It was pretty much the same scoring wise here, but I don't understand why they just don't focus more so on the training and getting healthy. I think
Mm.
that's got to be the big key for them is when they're healthy, I think they can be one of the best. But if you're not healthy, like you're going to have a lot of mistakes spread throughout the programs. And that was simply what we saw here, like a lot of jumping mistakes. Some of the lifts even looked a little bit labored. They finished off time in the free skate. It really was a rough outing for them.
Yeah, I think they need to
But
take a minute to rest and get
yes,
healthy. And I'm not super worried about them because I just have so much faith in Deanna. I think they're just health wise, they're in a really tough spot right now.
yeah.
Mm.
Would you get rid of the curls in the free skate music?
So apparently it's because it's supposed to like match the character of the music. So I would
Mm,
keep them. I like that she has two different looks.
Hmm.
okay.
You're
I've
not
seen
into
this
it?
some.
You don't like it?
She's a versatile queen.
I don't know if I love the curls. I don't know. I feel like I kind of like her with like I don't know. Just I'm
The
not sure if
slick
I'm a curl
back.
guy. The slick back, yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
I love her in like a nice high bun. It's a nice, but um the Georgians continue to scare me with their lifts in the free
Oh
skate every
yeah.
single time. I'm like, is he gonna drop her? Is he gonna put her down?
This girl is braver than the Marines for letting this
She
man
is
lift
no, oh
her.
my gosh. And
Like,
like
holy fuck.
in both programs he looks so like tense going into it, and he's just like, every second I'm like, oh my gosh, like, is he gonna keep that up? It's so, my girl,
Um,
Yeah.
my girl Anastasia.
They are. I do like, they're such like a ballsy team though. Like I love in the short
mhm.
program. Especially, I love when pair teams don't do their elements in the same order that everybody else does.
Hmm.
So in the short program, they start out doing this massive triple sow in front of the judges. And I feel like it's just like such a cunty statement to
It
make
is.
It's
for
out of
them. Yeah,
nowhere.
it's
And it's
huge and they do it right. It reminds me of how
Berezhna and Sigurlica.
well, I was gonna say the Mishina Galyamov from
oh
Russia. They
yes,
used to
yes.
Same
start
coach. Yeah,
yeah, they used to start off their short programs and their frees with the triple sow in front of the judges, and it is just such a like wow standout moment.
Hmm.
So I find that really interesting, and yeah, they're very exciting to watch, but absolutely
terrifying
terrifying.
in
Excuse
the
me.
air.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have to say, I wonder what they're going to look like towards the end of the season. Obviously, like they started off so high and so hot this season.
Hmm.
And then ever since Skate America, it seems like, you know, much better here than what they did at Skate America. But I wonder if they're still trying to rebuild a little bit. Maybe their confidence has been struck a little bit, or maybe they just simply had some mistakes this week that they need to clean up. But um, I going into the Olympics, like I really don't know who's going to win the pairs event. I really think if you look at it, and if you think about Sway and Han too, bringing them back into the fold, like you really have seven teams that could be on the podium for this discipline. And same thing with the women. It feels like there's about 10 women that you could realistically see on the podium too. It's just
hmm
both
It's
these
completely
disciplines are
open.
so open. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I wonder who's going to win Europeans. I mean, it seems like the Germans are kind of really building the momentum.
Hmm.
yeah. But the Georgians are so solid too. And
The
Conti and
Italians.
Machi are fantastic.
hmm
Pavlova could medal.
Yeah.
It's just very wide open. I don't know. I'm excited to see,
Okay,
but
I think my money's gonna go Minerva.
Mm.
I,
okay.
I've
I'm
my
rooting for Minerva.
I think my money's gonna go Minerva. I think she's like that pop out was such a fluke. It definitely I think it was just I don't even know if it was like a lapse in concentration. It might have been just like a hole in the ice or something, but because the
The
rest of the
divot,
program was not a divot.
like Hanyu.
yes, the divot. But the rest of the program was so undeterred from
hmm
that.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
must be such a huge confidence boost now that they've scored the highest free skate of all the pairs. Like, I would feel so confident heading into Europeans if I were them.
Hmm.
Yeah. I realistically, if you look at them, I think if they hit, and I think if they hit and the Japanese hit, those two will be first and second in some order. Um,
They're both the most like well-rounded teams, I
yeah.
think. Yeah.
If everyone hits, all right, let's do a little hypothetical.
Okay.
If everyone hits, what's your podium? Sway and Han included.
Ooh.
Honestly,
Okay.
I'm gonna go. Wait, wow.
I have my
I'm
answer.
gonna go Murakiara,
Yeah.
Okay.
Germans, and then I would say the Georgians. I think Swanhan's material this season is just not it.
All right, I have my answer. Minerva,
Mhm.
Sway and Han, Mira, and Kiara.
Wow.
Wow.
I know that's bold.
All right, Kelly.
I'm gonna go Japanese for one,
Okay.
Germans two, and I'm going Italians because we're gonna be in Italy.
So true.
Yeah,
So
you're
true.
right.
I should
Yeah.
have thought
That's
about
true.
that.
We did forget about that.
Yeah.
Um, well, let's dive into the women because we had Alyssa Liu with the win with the little
hmm
toothography after the free skate. Can I just say, Alyssa Liu really knows how to like find a way on a podium that someone does not believe she has any business being on. Like,
hmm
remember Worlds last year? Not even in the conversation for
No.
being on the podium.
Mm-mm.
Coming into here, I was like, she could maybe get the sneaky bronze. And
Yeah.
she was like, I'm gonna win.
She
And
just has
I don't even think that. It's just like she was just gonna show up and have a good time and Like
Do her
the
thing.
like the
Yeah.
Nothing Goes Twitter account said after winning
Mhm.
the Grand Prix final, she just go to the
Let's go to
club.
Cabo.
Let's go to Cabo.
Yeah. She's gonna I don't give a fuck her way to a gold medal because psychologically she's just so strong. And it
Hmm.
truly feels like she goes into these competitions with no expectation for herself to win or medal. Like she's just there to do her thing. And I think that is why we're seeing everyone else struggle and we're seeing her do so well. Because, Kaori's given interviews where she's like, I want to win. I want to win the Olympics. Like, I don't want to be second place. And so, like, that's a lot of psychological pressure to put on yourself. And we've been seeing Kaori struggle all season because she's so fixated on being the first person. And Alyssa just doesn't give a shit. She just goes and has fun, and it's kind of mind-blowing to watch. And we were talking before we started recording that Alyssa said that she plans to bring the Lady Gaga program for nationals.
Well, we got a glimpse of it in the gala. I think that was so planned, by the way.
Oh, I didn't watch the
She,
gala.
Hmm.
so what they did, she had her original gala, and then it looked like it like the music like cut, or like it sounded like it just stopped, or and then they started playing the
Hmm.
Lady Gaga. But obviously, it was very well intentional. I think it was very well intentionally done. It
Hmm.
was a
Hmm.
very concise, and it looked like she knew what she was doing. She went straight into the Gaga choreography. It sounded like it has a little bit of a change to the music edit too, which was kind of interesting. We got to see probably like we saw like the double axel in the choreographic sequence, which I think was
Hmm.
kind of cool. But um, there's just an air to her where she shows up and she's like, I'm gonna do my thing, you do your thing, and we'll see what happens.
Hmm.
Um, and when you look at just the overall, I want to talk about one thing first. I saw a lot of people on Twitter complaining about the scoring, just in general. I will say the caller was very lenient here,
Hmm.
very, very lenient with pretty much everyone. And I saw a lot of people saying, like her getting 75 in the short program for what she did was crazy. And someone tweeted and said, Trusova and Sherbakova got 74 for breathing. Why can't Monet and Alyssa get 70s, high 70s for having good programs? Like we've lost the plot a
Clock
little
it.
bit
It's
of the
true.
overscoring.
Yeah,
We mustn't
yeah.
forget the ancient texts.
Yes.
Russia is going to give their girls an 83 for a double axel, a triple Lutz, triple toe, and a triple flip at their nationals. Like
Also,
this,
Alyssa backloaded a Lutz loop in the short program
Yeah.
like it was a piece of cake. Like, yeah, I think her score was completely justified.
I
and it's such a
agree.
beautiful program too.
It's
Yeah,
mhm.
you can't replicate, like you're not gonna find another program ever that's gonna be like that one. You know what I'm saying? It's just so one of a kind and genuine to her. And like yeah, go the distance with the components. Go
It's
for it.
Yeah,
interesting. There's been so much debate about whether she should keep the Donna Summer program, because she's been
hmm
winning everything with it, and it seems like such an incredibly risky move
to
to
make the
change your
Gaga.
program right at nationals and then the Olympics. So you're only going to have nationals to perform it in front of an audience, and then the next time you're going to be at the Olympics. And if it were anyone other than Alyssa, I would say that that's fucking crazy. But I think that Alyssa is kind of the one person that actually might be able to pull this off. So,
I think she thinks it's like a fun bit. Like she's like, oh yeah, this will be like it'll just be fun. Like I think she literally will go into it and be like, okay, yay, new program.
hmm.
Um, and she said she wants to try the triple axel at nationals
I did
too.
see that.
So
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know how that's going to pan out, but
Yeah.
um,
If anyone could do
I
it,
also,
it's her though.
it is
I
her
believe that
the
she
most
could.
the most confident and most delusional skater in like the best way ever.
Hmm.
So confident. One other thing that we saw from her is that she said that when she was doing the taiko, the
Hmm.
interview after, before she did the taiko, she said that she was going to continue after this
Yes.
season. She was like, I'm going to come back to
Oh,
Japan and compete next year, so I'll see
Hmm.
you guys then. And I was like, whoa, well, I guess we're coming back.
wow.
I know.
Um,
That's such amazing news. And I mean, she's only 20, so she absolutely
Yeah.
should continue her career. But the fact that she's been through so much in her career and like now is so happy that she wants to, it's like the
It's
heartwarming story that we need after the
hmm
dumpster fire that was Ice Dance.
absolutely.
yes.
Why quit when you're ahead
Um,
like that?
I don't know if she'll be ahead next year, but I think she'll be skating for a different reason at that point. And
Yeah.
that's obviously what she's been doing this whole comeback. Like she's not coming back to, obviously she wants to do well and probably win a medal at the Olympics, but obviously she's skating for herself and skating for the love and the joy of it and because she enjoys it. So I
hmm
think that's obviously always been her main reason for this comeback. And
Hmm.
even with what will come up next year with who will move up to seniors and how everything will pan out, she'll obviously still be skating for the love and joy of it. So,
Hmm.
um, where do you want to go next?
Let's go. So we started at the top. We can go second place, Ami
Mhm.
Nakai.
Your daughter?
My daughter, Ami Nakai. I mean, she has the most just like pure, like just radiant, youthful glow on the ice, and it's just like I'm getting it. I know I said once upon a time maybe I said that her programs
She's
were
got that spot
juniorish,
locked up. They were
but
juniorish, but
I'm getting it. I just like seeing her in that environment with the crowd behind her and just like the joy of it was just good. It was just so good. I will say we need to have a conversation about the three triple axel techniques that happened here at this event.
Mm.
okay.
Because if we're being honest, Ami's is at the bottom for
Probably
me.
the worst.
It was the worst. I
Yeah.
think the GOEs are a little like,
She got higher Joey than Amber did
which is insane.
on the
Because
triple
when
axel.
That's
when
crazy.
you're watching the slow-mo of the triple axel, you see the free leg. She doesn't step up with the free leg. It's not a drive up. It's she swings it around almost like it's not even like Yulia Lipnitskaya where she like hugs it behind real quick. It's like but it's bent and still like flails out, and then there's like the leg wrap for like the first rotation. It's and then but you kind of see the same thing happen with the double axel. You see the leg wrap a little bit more. So
Yeah. Same with Shun Sato. He has that same
yeah.
problem with the leg
hmm
wrap on the double. Obviously Amber definitely has the best triple axel of, I would say probably of the international women that, I mean, maybe if
Hmm.
Wakaba was back, I would say Wakaba's was
mm
pretty close up there when she was doing it. Yeah, I mean, Ami, she skates very well. She skates very joyous. She does have solidity on all of the elements. When you're comparing her to Rinka, who I think was her rival in
Hmm.
mm
quotations of this competition, you can see that she just doesn't have as much, or she has much more finish and much more well executed elements. She's so solid on the jumps. She doesn't under rotate as much as Rinka does, and she gets
mm
much better GOE on the spins. She projects, I think, a little bit more than Rinka does.
That to me is the biggest difference between them
Yeah.
is Ami
Yes,
is such an openly expressive
open
performer.
chest,
And
very
yeah,
open.
yeah, and even like with her posture, it's like she's projecting outwards. She really like performs and I feel like connects with the audience. And then by contrast, when you watch Rinka, she looks down at the ice a lot and she
Hmm.
feels a little bit like stiffer
Like
and less,
insular.
yeah, it's much
mm
more insular. So watching them back to back, Ami just feels so much like smoother and freer and just more open. So I really preferred her. And I think I think the Japanese Federation does too, because Rinka's
Yes.
scores here were really quite harsh. I felt pretty sad for her. She did a lot technically. There were some under rotations, but it felt like a very
Yeah.
clear message was being
mm
sent to her at this event.
I
Well,
really
I
found
think,
myself
yeah.
like rooting for her too. Like she does have this like well, yeah, she doesn't project the same. She still has this like fighter, gritty,
Hmm.
go-getter attitude and like charm on the ice that is like really fun to watch.
Yeah, she's gritty. Like she threw in that separate triple axel
hmm
in the
Hmm.
program. Like she's fighting for her life out
hmm
there. But at the end of the day, the quality of her jumps just doesn't compare to Ami, in my opinion.
and the quality of the skating for me personally. But I mean, getting back to Ami, when you look at, okay, you realize she was the highest Japanese finisher of all the Japanese women here. Um, I mean, she has that spot. That Japanese team is as locked up as the American women team too. The
I
three
think
for both are
so.
sent. You know who's going to go at this point. And
So we think
look,
Monet's a lock, even though she kind of
yes,
melted down here.
I think
God,
so.
Japanese nationals is gonna be the Hunger Games.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Maybe
like,
they'll get the drums.
please, we need that. Maybe add some more
They
instrumentation
should have
too.
Alysa Liu
Live
go play the
vocals.
drums.
Yes,
Yes.
Fly her out.
drummer. Yes, Alyssa Liu at Japanese Nationals.
By the way, I thought it was so funny that they had Elizaveta Tuktamisheva at this event as like a
Yes, I
She
press,
did
was
like,
see
there
that.
for she's there for Russian TV.
oh,
She's been
okay.
going for a couple years.
Wait, but I
She's like
find
a commentator.
it's so funny that that's allowed.
I think they yeah, because they still sell the rights for them to watch it if
Okay.
they
Okay.
if the so the country like the because I
I'm
think
not
it's just sold
complaining.
to the TV. Yeah, no, I
Mm,
think it's just sold to the TV providers because it's
mhm.
she's there for
Hmm.
Oku TV. Um and she does like some commentary for them too sometimes. So,
Okay, they
but
should
she
send
was
her to
there.
Japanese nationals too.
There was one funny thing where
Hmm.
she was interviewing Adam Xiaohunfa
Hmm.
and he said, "Well, I'm the oldest of all the men. Like it's kind of tough when I'm competing." And then Took Demisha goes, "Oh, I know. I get it, girl."
She's like, I've also been the nana of my field.
That is
Yeah.
funny.
Um, okay, I have one other thing to say about Ami.
Mhm.
This is kind of an open-ended question for everyone, for everything too, but when I'm looking at the remainder of her season, I wonder if she will do four continents, how she'll factor into nationals if she'll win, and the team event now. So you have to think
Mhm.
about that. And the individual event because she does have all the qualities to be an Olympic champion. It's just kind of about her putting it together on back-to-back days.
Hmm.
And I really want to see if that's something that she's able to do because the judges have been going with her all year. The judges are really going with Kaori too, even though she was third here. If you really look at like if you're reading in between the lines with the scores, they're also really going with Kaori.
Well, they were ready to
Um,
give Kaori 150 plus if she went
oh
clean.
yeah. Yeah. And I think they'll go like 155 plus at the Olympics for her if she goes clean.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm very interested to see where a lot of these women go if they go clean on back-to-back days because I think the judges are really there, right there to go with almost all of them. Even Amber we'll get to, but
I don't know about Amber. I'm
I'll tell
kind
you.
of okay, tell me because I'm skeptical.
Wait, Nolan, can you remind us, does Team Japan usually send their A team to four continents and the Olympics?
Um, Not during the Olympic year. I remember during the COVID Olympic season, they sent Rino Matsuike, Mai Mihara, and
Hmm.
Johanna Yokoi.
Okay,
And then
yeah.
in
Mm.
So,
2018, they did send their A team to the Olympics in 2018. They sent
s-
Kaori, Mai.
you mean they sent them to four continents and the Olympics?
In 2018,
Yeah.
yes. They sent Kaori and Satoko to go.
I don't see them doing that this time. I don't think they
Yeah.
need to. I think it's also gonna like fuck with the skaters because it's like we don't need like we've already put them head to head
Hmm.
so many times. Like we don't need to put them in that pressure cooker anymore. I feel horrible that, Jaya Shin has to go to four
Oh my
continents. Like
gosh.
these poor Korean
Listen, she
girls.
needs
Oh
it.
my
She
God.
needs it.
That is imagine how she would stack up here. Let's say Jia Shin was the secret seventh
Hmm.
skater and went clean. Like what like where do you think
If we
like
have to and I can't even tell because the scoring here, they were definitely giving them a lot of help, like giving a lot of people a lot of help. So that's why, and I said when I was talking about earlier, I was like, there's legitimately 10 women that you could see on an Olympic podium in the women's event
Hmm.
right now. It's just so wide open where you could say like anyone could be on that podium, and I would be like, sure, that makes a lot of
Hmm.
sense. Um, one
what a
of the
fun
other
trio.
women, yeah, one of the other women that I could see, and I know people might think I'm a little crazy. I know this is something that Clayton, I'm going to tell you and explain now, but if you look at how they scored Amber Glenn in the short program, she got 67 points
Mhm.
with a single axle. If she did the axle, that's about 10 points. That's putting her at
Mhm.
78. And you think about the PCS, she could go up a little bit. You could see it getting 79, 80.
Mm.
So if you're looking at the
Yeah.
scoring potential for her, it's 100% there, but it's just going to come down to if she can do it.
Yeah, if she skated
Um,
clean, I think she would win.
yeah,
She's the only other
to be
skater that has
close.
like the speed and power, the power that's comparable to Kaori.
What got her in the free? Like what she went
What?
oh the under rotated loop. Okay.
Hmm. But
Yeah, and
she still scored really high.
she
I
doesn't get like we said, or like we've said on this podcast multiple times throughout the past couple of weeks. The GOE is sometimes where she loses it, and the levels. That's somewhere where I think she really has to just like grind every single landing and make it the most beautiful thing that she could. And I have to say, I think it's better for her to have this mistake now. And she hadn't made any mistakes on the triple axels throughout the whole season. So I think this is good to have this mistake now, and it gives her a lot of motivation moving towards nationals and the Olympics. So
Hmm.
mean she
yeah,
had the best triple axel we've seen her do, I think, ever in this free skate. And well, yes, there's a long setup. There's the French judge gave it +1, a handful gave +2, and then there were some +3s, which I for me was
Crazy.
which for me is warranted. The threes, I would have gone all threes.
Hmm.
yeah, she does lose a little bit of steam, which, and I have to say one thing. Amber did say in the press this after her free skate that she had like a panic attack before her free skate.
Mm,
And I
Hmm.
have to say, for her to do what she did prior to having some sort of, a little bit of a anxiety, emotional distress, that is so indicative of the mentality and the physical strong character that she has, that she was able to do that, because there are a lot of people that definitely would have crumbled and not been able to compartmentalize what happened. And she did arguably the best free skate of her season at this point.
Hmm.
Um, After having such a difficult situation happen to her, and big props to her for that, because that's shows a lot about her grit and mentality as a competitor.
mm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Should we talk about Monet?
yeah.
Well, talk about some score propping in the short. I called Nolan. Or Nolan called me, and I was like in the middle of like the women's free, and I was like, oh my gosh, like Monet, like Olympic gold medalist, like, and this is before I saw her free skate. Like I was like, this is gonna be crazy. Like they're going with her on the scores, but it's so sad to see the mistakes on the edge jumps in the free. It was so
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
I have wrote down one huge step forward in the short program. And then I wrote that this was a huge learning experience for her. Because
Hmm.
if you look at it, she's never actually been the one that's like leading at a
Mm,
championship event. Sure, she's like beaten some of these women at like a Grand Prix in isolation, but I think it's a little bit of a different pressure when you're at the final or a larger scale event.
hmm
Um, and I think this is good for her because she's looked so unstoppable this season with
Hmm.
the short program. I think you definitely want to have an event where you have something happen that gives you the motive and kind of brings you back to earth where you're like, okay, I need to lock in more for
hmm
later in the year. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
just tough.
the edge jumps have always been like the most difficult elements for her. Although I have to say her double axel in the short program, when she does the jump, she rides out that landing for
mm.
like literally like a full circle, and that
Yeah,
ride out is just one of my favorite moments. Like because we're not gonna probably not gonna see Reno Matsuike's left forward out or right forward outside
Oh,
edge. I'm like, I will take this. This is the edge right out that I will take and hold on to. So thank you, Monet, for giving us that
thank you,
moment.
Mone. Um, and nationals for Japan is in a week and a half. So these women have they have a pretty short turnaround and they've got to get right back up for nationals soon, which is got to be difficult for them. Fighting for their
There's no
Olympic spots in a
rest.
week.
There's no rest for the wicked.
My gosh.
Zero rest. Um,
Who else are we
anything
missing
else?
here?
I mean, Rinka was a little bit of a struggle.
Yes.
Hmm.
Wow, I
Yeah,
forget.
Was
but
There's
there?
only six ladies, huh?
hmm
Yeah.
Fancy that.
what about Kaori?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
We didn't really
yes.
talk about
Oh, I know.
Kaori.
I was like, wait a minute. I know we're
I
forgetting
was like,
somebody. I was like,
I
something's
was like,
missing.
Kaori was just so soft. She looked stressed. Looked
Yeah.
Hmm.
stressed.
We've never seen her cry before.
That was really hard.
I
I started to tear
know.
up a little bit, honestly. Like
Yeah.
that was not fun for me to watch. I
Hmm.
don't like seeing her upset.
And it's weird to see Kaori because she's normally so just loose and like joyous
Hmm.
and kind of joking with everyone, like poking, like I've heard she's like kind of the jokester of all the women, but
Hmm.
it's so weird to see her just not be, I think emotionally she was not 100% there in both programs.
Yeah, she
It
Hmm.
looks a
looked
little
like
out of it.
and I think she's starting to have, I think she's having a little bit of a realization that her career is coming to an end and that the Olympics are pretty much here at this point. I think there's probably a lot of emotions
Hmm.
going through her right now, and it's probably a lot to process. Um,
Yeah.
I do will say, yeah, you know,
Oh, no, no, you finish first.
I was just gonna, I will say that even though even though she had the mistakes, I think they're so ready to go with her at any point to just give her huge, huge scores. And I'm interested to see what Team Japan does for the team events.
Mm.
I don't know who they're going to put in which um, program, but yeah,
Yeah,
I could see Monet Monet short calorie free is my guess.
that's what I was thinking. But
mhm.
Ami's now kind of into it too. So
I don't think I'd put her to save the
what if she
triple
wins
axel.
nationals?
Mhm.
Oh well.
Yeah, the other thing, just to go back to Cowrie for a second, is that, she looked extremely like stressed and just
Hmm.
like psychologically not the carefree, jokey Cowrie that we usually see at competitions. And again, I think this fixation that she has on being the first and winning, I think that's really starting to mess with her because especially at an event like this where you're competing against the top women and everyone is so solid. I think she really just needs to focus. Maybe she needs to go to the club with Alyssa, but I think she really just needs to
Mm,
focus on like putting out the best performances that she can and stop thinking so much about like being on top or overcoming other people. Like don't think about what other people are doing. Um, but yeah, it's really
Yuma
hard.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
she
so
went
good.
shopping with Tuk Tamisheva. I saw.
I know I saw
So
that.
I
He's
was like,
so cute.
okay. I was like two queens together. Love that for them. But
I would love to hear their conversations.
yeah.
I'm sure
Um,
Elizaveta gave her some really good advice and was really like building her up.
Yeah, Elizabeth is so supportive. Like she is really
Hmm.
just everyone's empress. We all love her no
she's the
matter
Yeah,
where you're
people's
she's
from.
the
empress.
people's empress.
Hmm.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the Grand Prix final? You guys have anything else you want to add?
Mm. Justice for Piper and
Wow.
Paul.
Justice,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And
Justice for Piper and Paul.
even Piper's
Yeah.
husband was like on Instagram, like adding the ISU in comments. I was like, you know what?
Adding the
Support.
IM,
Oh, it's
Mon
I am.
Academy of Montreal too.
Oh,
Now
wow.
that's a real wife guy.
Yep.
That is a real husband.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, take notes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know when we'll see you next. I think there might be a couple episodes coming out this week of a Russian. I'm going to cover Russian nationals for a preview.
Mm.
Um, Clayton and I might do a Japanese nationals preview too, and then Kelly is wants to do an Olympic outlook for the
Hmm.
criteria. So I think her and I are going to work together on that over some point this week. So
Hmm.
there's a week off of skating, but there's going to be some skating content still coming for you guys. So be on the lookout, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you guys. Thanks for
All right.
visiting, and
Oh
thanks
gosh.
for coming to chat with me.
Bye, Nolan and
Yeah.
Kelly.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.